Challenges aren't all equal, and I like to break them down to three parts or three categories. The first one being personal challenges. We all have challenges, these challenges, and they're day-to-day kind of challenges. Can range from keeping the house tidy to getting to work on time or getting up to doing the dishes to maybe even dealing with teenagers or kids. And then there's those unseen challenges that not everyone would see as well, like my challenge of getting up in the morning, having a shower, having to get someone to help me do that and get dressed so I can look this good every day, right? That is a personal challenge for me every morning, right? And some might relate to that and some might not. And then there are those world challenges. They are often out of our control, or we can do very little about them. All we can do is the way that we show up and stand in what we believe is our truth and show up in that sort of energy. These can be environmental challenges, community challenges, country challenges, starvation challenges, things that are outside of us, that political is another one, all those kind of challenges, right? We can only show up the way we want to show up in those challenges. We can only control ourselves. Then the third category is what I call the dark night of the soul challenges. These are things that happen to us that are often out of our control, but they happen to us. And they change our life for better or worse, really. They have such a dramatic impact that nothing can go back to the way it was, right? A good example would be my accident 30 years ago, breaking or dislocating my neck, which left me in a wheelchair, changed my life completely. I went from this strong, fit, young farming boy who loved sport, ran everywhere, to being in a wheelchair and not being able to move my hands, my legs, my arms, and having to rely on other people, right? That was a dark night of the soul for me. And many of you might relate to this, that if you've been through one of these, you wouldn't wish it on anybody, right? The experience itself. But man, you really would wish all the lessons, everything you've learnt from that on everybody, because it's so rich in learnings, experiences, just knowing who you are. You really get a good sense of it because you've gone through something that's so life-changing. You could say it was bad or good. And what I've noticed is that by studying success as a coach, most people who've gone through a dark night, they've got two choices. And the ones that do really well are the ones that will find the positivity out of it. They have got the perception that this has to be for a reason, and I'm going to learn something, I'm going to create something, I'm going to do something with my life out of this. And of course, then it's the opposite. The ones that often struggle with things like this, they look at what's wrong and why did this happen to me, and so really what this is about is the ones that are successful. It comes down to the perception that you hold about what you go through. And I believe that's the same for all of those challenges. It comes down to what we hold and what we decide for ourselves in those moments. Have a great day. Bye for now.